wonderful people. Ooh. How are we going? I don't know about you guys, but I get, how do I say this? I get really excited and really inspired and really in flow very easily. And I've just been at a yoga class not too long ago, and I was like, it was like the last 10 minutes of yoga, and so like, you know, you're slowing down, and I suddenly like got this like whoosh of like this download of what I really needed to come on and share. And so, you know, and I'm like, so I'm in yoga and my head's just going crazy, like, I need to go and talk about this, need to go and talk about this. And I was like leaving yoga, and I was like, I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm like, quickly go and grab dinner, and then like come home, and I'm like wolfing down my dinner to come and talk about this. And so, but when I'm like that, when I'm really excited or really stressed, and when I'm really excited and when I'm really stressed, and when I eat, it's not a good time. Like, as in, it's good in the moment, and then I just know in like half an hour, I get a really sore stomach. And so I'm like, well, I'll just finish this dinner quickly, and then I'll share, and then I'll go to bed and sleep before my sore stomach can set in. But I really wanted to come on and share this because it's been something that I've been thinking about a lot over the past week, and especially today. And I feel like a lot of people could benefit from this. I'll just share this. Okay. Today, I want to talk to those who are feeling discouraged, who are feeling as though your life isn't quite like how you want it to be. You feel as though things aren't going right. You feel like you're not good enough. You feel like you should be further along by now. You just feel as though you're dissatisfied. You're discouraged. You're disappointed. You feel as though things should be different. And this is in terms of other people. This is in terms of other things that are showing up in your experience right now, or this is in terms of yourself. Right? You're kind of like, you're sitting there most days, and you get to the end of the day, and you're like being critical, and you're like punishing yourself, and you say, what am I doing? Like, why do I keep mucking up? Why aren't things different? And I really want to talk to the people who are in this space, because I've been there before. I've been there before a lot, right? I've always been someone who has wanted to do well, and has wanted to be my best, and has wanted to reach that next level and make a bigger impact, and just keep pushing and pushing and striving and striving. And I lived a lot of my life feeling as though I wasn't there yet, feeling as though I wasn't successful enough yet, feeling as though everyone else had the answers, and felt like everyone else had it all together, and I was the one who didn't. And I feel like this is a really common way people see things, or it's a common kind of thought to have, that everyone else got it together. A few reasons for that. One, social media, obviously, and like seeing what everyone else is up to on Facebook and Instagram, I'd be like, wow, like all these pretty pictures of holidays and stuff. But also, I feel just in general, because of the way humans are. And what I mean by that is, like, right now I've got awareness of my thoughts, but everyone else I see, I can just see them, right? And so I think often we can get this kind of misunderstanding that, well, we're the only ones with negative thoughts. Could we look at everyone and they look like they've got their shit together, and they look like they're living life, and they look like they're happy, or they look like they're miserable, whatever, but we just take it at face value. We say, oh, that person looks happy today. We say, man, their life is perfect. Everything's going well for them. They're on the right track. Everything's perfect for them. They've all got it together. I am wrong, right? We can't see in their head. We can't see that they're questioning themselves as much as we are, right? And so because we can't hear it, because we can't hear the voices in their head, because we can't see their doubt, we just see their presence. We see their confidence. We see their happiness. We see them show up. We see them actually doing something rather than what they're thinking. We just assume that there's no shit in their head. We assume that there's no doubt. We assume there's no worry. We assume there's no concern. We assume that everyone else has got it together, and everyone else is playing this game of life like really, really well. But we're the crazy one because we're thinking too much and our thoughts are doubtful. And I feel like that's a really, like, it's an obvious thing that a lot of people have thoughts and a lot of people have doubts. But I feel like we don't stop enough to actually look at it and actually recognize it and actually say, hold up. Like, other people do doubt themselves, and other people do have worries, and other people do have concerns, and everyone does it. And it's not just a thing you do. Like, everyone else doubts themselves pretty much the exact same amount as you do, right? And so that's the first thing I really want to say. But what I really want to talk to about today is the reason that we're feeling discouraged is because we're asking the wrong questions. And it's, our mind is constantly asking questions and looking around for answers. We're asking questions of ourselves, we're asking questions of others, but we ask questions within ourselves without really paying attention to what we're actually asking ourselves. And the thing is, there's a couple of questions. There's two questions that I want to talk about today that are causing you to feel discouraged, okay? And the first question of those is, who have I been? One of the reasons we feel discouraged is because every time we look at ourselves and we sit down with ourselves and we say, who have I been? And we say, well, when I was 10 years old, I said that mean thing to that girl, and so I'm a cruel person. We said to ourselves, well, 2 years ago, my boyfriend, well, he's my ex-boyfriend now, cheated on me and left me. So I've been the girl who's been left, right? You may say, when I was a young girl, my dad walked out, my dad left. And therefore, I'm the girl who's been rejected, right? We're so used to grabbing all those parts of our lives that have hurt us, that have made us feel not good enough, that has made us question ourselves, or we've gone wrong, or we've mucked up, or we're feeling guilt, we're feeling shame, we're feeling like we just got it wrong and we're never getting it right. And every day when we ask ourselves, well, who have I been? When we ask ourselves, well, how am I doing? When we get out the list and say, well, what should I think about myself? We say, well, shit, haven't I screwed up enough times, right? And so every day we're asking ourselves, where has everything been going wrong for me in the past? Right? How have things been really, really terrible in my life? Let's just have a look. Right? And the problem with this is everything we look at is what we create. And if we keep looking at where we've been, if we keep looking at all the things that have gone wrong, if we keep looking at the facts of the past, we don't look to the next step. We don't look to the future. We don't look to where we're heading, right? We're focusing on the facts and not our faith. Right? And the thing is, whatever you focus on is what you're bringing into your reality right now. And it doesn't even matter if the facts are there. It doesn't even matter what you've done. What's happened in your past has absolutely nothing to do with what's happening in your future unless you let that decide who you are right now. Right? And this is why this question, who have I been? If I look at my life, and I ask myself, who have I been, right? I'm like, I'm the girl whose dad left her when she was young, right? I'm the girl who had stomach issues, crippling stomach issues, doctors couldn't figure out. I'm the girl who, my first boyfriend cheated on me and then he ended it and then I was an absolute mess. I'm the girl who guys never gave any attention to and you need no time to. Guys couldn't care less about. Guys would just be like, yeah, she's hot. I want to have sex with her, but I have zero care about who she really is. I was the girl who was rejected. I was the girl who was left behind. I was the girl that no one really cared about. No one really cared about. I was the girl no one understood, right? That's who I was, right? And now, if you met me and I said that, you'd be like, Emma, look, that's not who you, what? It wouldn't make sense, right? But it's only because I stopped asking, who have I been? And I started asking, who am I now? And the thing is here, we're getting everyone else's ideas about who we've been. We're getting everyone else's feedback about who we've been. We're getting everyone else's commentary about who we've been and how life is for us, that we're not choosing who we are now, right? We're letting our circumstances determine who we are. We're letting our past determine who we are. You're not saying, well, who am I now? Who do I choose to be? Because this is the thing that really gets me is how quickly other people can influence you. For example, you may wake up in the morning and you may go out into the world and someone's like, man, you're a bitch. And all day you're like, I'm a bitch and I'm a horrible person and I always screw up and I always mess up and no one's going to love me, and story, crafted about one comment that one person made to you in the morning, right? And the thing is, this is one comment one person's made on one day, but maybe every few days someone makes a comment, or even a comment like, oh man, you really did badly at university, didn't you? Or even that comment of, do you remember that time you tried to do public speaking and you totally failed? Or they say that comment of, oh, did your ex really cheat on you? Man, he must really not have cared about you. And so you're getting these wee little bits and pieces fed to you every single day that's crafting this idea in your mind about who you are. And it's actually frankly bullshit. And you haven't stopped to actually say to myself, stop. That's who I was. That were the facts of the past. But who am I now? How do things get to go for me now? Because just because something played out one certain way, the second you start to actually decide, for example, I'm like, my first boyfriend cheated on me, right? Fact. Complete fact, right? This is who I was. And who am I now? I am a girl who knows what she deserves in love. I am a girl that only holds space for someone who can fully give it to me. I am a girl who will walk away from anyone who wants to go and have sex with her when they're together. That's who I am now. I'm not, I'm the girl who was cheated on and therefore everyone's going to cheat on me. Do you see how different this is? Because instead of letting my past and my story about what happened dictate my future, I create my future based on my faith, based on who I choose to be, based on how I choose to show up in the world, based on who I choose to hold space for. Because if we let our past, if we let what people have done, if we let what people say about us, if we let what we say about ourselves in times of criticism shape where we're going, shape who we're being, we are going to feel like shit. And it's based on fear. It's based on not who we really are. And it's based on one little moment in time where you've created a story about your behavior or about someone else's behavior, which is making you feel horrible. And it's bullshit. And you don't have to live there. You don't have to live in the stories, right? Everything that's hurt you, everything that you've screwed up over, everything that's gone wrong, there's a reason it happened. There's a reason, there's a contrast, there's something you've learned from that. There's something you've discovered. There's a standard you've lifted. There's a level you've risen up because of that experience that has made you go, and this is how things get to go now, no matter what it is, no matter what has come in, no matter how bad things have been, no matter how badly you've fucked up. If you've done something that really, really hurt people, you're like, wow, this is who I was. I love how I did that. I love how I did that thing. I love how I hurt people, because what it made me realize is how much I value these people. What it's made me realize is how much I really want to show up for my friends. What it's made me realize is how good a friend I really am. And now I show up that way for my friends because that's who I choose to be. Because the thing is, you're not a victim to your past. Your past does not have to equal your future unless you choose to focus on it, unless you choose to ask yourself, who have I been, not who am I now? The other question that we ask ourselves, which shoots us in the foot over and over and over again, is who do they want me to be? Now, the problem with this is we very rarely ask ourselves it. Well, maybe you do ask yourself, who do they need me to be? Actually, when you're dating, you will ask yourself that probably. Who do they want me to be? Am I good enough? Am I good enough for them? And the reason we ask ourselves this question, am I good enough for them? Are they approving of me? It's a twisted way of saying, am I what they want me to be, right? Even though those words may not go through your head, right? But the problem with this is, if you got the 10 people closest to you in your world, the 10 people who care about you the most, who love you the most, who believe in you the most, and you sat them all down at a table, and they had to write on a piece of paper who they think you should be, how they think your life should go, how they think your life is going, and they wrote that down on a piece of paper, and they shared the differences in those stories, the different perspectives of what people think you should be, where you should be going, who you should be dating, how you should be living your life, would be completely and utterly different from one another. You could read each one and say, that's a completely different person. You wouldn't know that they were the same person at all, right? Because this is the thing. So often we get so hung up on asking ourselves, who do I need to be? Who does that person want me to be so then they'll love me? Who does my mum want me to be? Who does my dad want me to be? Who does this guy I went on a date with once and told me I was too spiritual want me to be, right? We get so interested in other people's opinions about who they think we should be, right? And so often we wake up in the morning and say, well, who does he want me to be? Who does my partner want me to be? How does he want me to show up? And then you start being that person and you go out and you meet your best friend. Who does she want me to be? Oh, what? Oh, I offended. Oh, shit. Oh, I did not think that anymore. Man, okay. My partner wants me to support that team. My girlfriend finds I shouldn't support that team. Holy shit, like, who do I support? You go see your mum who's like, man, you're really in the wrong job. You need to go and be a teacher. And then you're like, wait, my partner wants me to support this team and this person doesn't, and this person wants me to be a teacher, but my partner thought I should be this. Oh my God, who the hell am I? No wonder we're so lost. No wonder we're so confused as a society, as humanity, right? Because we're looking to other people and saying, well, who do they want me to be? Right? Who do they want me to be? I promise you, one of the fastest ways to feel anxious, to feel depressed, to feel like you're not good enough, to feel like you're never measuring up, to feel like no one's ever going to love you, to feel like you're always getting it wrong, to feel like everything is totally wrong and feels like shit and unfulfilling, is to ask that question every single day. Who do people want me to be? Because you'll never get the same answer. And you'll go around the world thinking, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Wait a minute. Oh, wait, how do I need to be for him? Crap, how do I need to be for her? And this is the thing. This is how we're showing up in dates. So many women come to me and they're dating like this. They're going to one date, meet a guy, have a few drinks, sit down, have a meal. And afterwards he's like, oh, like, you know, you were lovely, but I just want someone who's a bit more driven. And so you're like, oh, more driven. Oh, okay. So you go and the next few days, like, yeah, I'm really, really driven. And you go on the next date, you're like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And then he's like, leaves and he's like, oh, I wasn't like that interested. You were like kind of a bit like over the top. And you go, oh, too energized, but I need to be really driven, but not too energized. Okay, cool. Next day, go. And you like have that, like you're driven, but you're not too energized. And he's just like, yeah, like I just felt like you weren't that passionate. You're like, shit. Okay, so I need to be driven and not too energized, but passionate. Okay, let me just go now. And you're building up this checklist over time that you've got from all the dates you've ever been on. Okay, I need to build up this and this and this and this. And then every day you're like, oh, and he wasn't interested too, and he wasn't interested too. Okay, so who do I need to be now? Who do I need to be now? Why do I keep mucking up? Why do I keep getting it wrong? And the only reason you're getting it wrong is because you're looking at who you were in the past. And you're looking at a date you've had in the past, and you're deciding that you were the girl who got rejected. You're deciding that you were the girl who wasn't good enough, rather than saying, well, who am I? I am someone who wasn't right for that person. Not I'm the girl who was rejected or not good enough. I was the person who wasn't right for him. He was a guy who I'm not going to marry. Thank the Lord I'm not going to marry him because he's wrong for me. Right? So you're looking at the past and you're thinking it's now where it's not. And you're looking at the past and you're creating a story which does not capture who you are, which does not capture what you deserve, which does not capture how good enough you really are. Right? Or you're looking to other people and asking who they want you to be. Because the thing is, you cannot manifest your soulmate. You cannot have soulmate love if you are not in alignment with yourself. That's it. And asking who they want me to be, what you're really asking is, I'm where I am. I'm who I am. Where do I want me to be? Let me walk as far as I can away from my truth. Let me walk as far as I can away from my soulmate. Let me walk as far as I can away from where I'm meant to be. Right? People will always give you their opinion. They will always tell you, you should go that way, you should go that way, you should go that way. If you listen to it, you'll be like one of those people who's just like running around like this with your head going crazy. You'll feel so dizzy, you'll feel so overwhelmed, you'll feel so anxious, depressed, uncertain. You'll feel like you're not good enough, right? And this is the society we live in. A society who's looking to other people to say, who am I? Who's looking to other people and saying, well, who do you want me to be? Right? We're wearing so many fucking masks around so many different people because we care so much about how they're going to receive us. We care so much about their opinions. We care so much that they're going to be like, oh, I wouldn't do that. If they say that, be like, cool, then you don't do that, hun. I'll just do it. Right? You're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. Everything that you are has been divinely created. Everything. Your weird habits, divinely created. Your hobbies you love, divinely created. The people you're attracted to, divinely created. And yet you don't think it's right. And you think there's something wrong with it. You think that there's been a mistake. You think your job was to come to this planet and to read and learn how to be your fucking self. Right? We weren't put on this planet to learn to be good enough. We weren't put on this planet to learn to be perfect. We were not put on this planet to rip ourselves to shreds every day. We weren't put on this planet to walk around with a freaking notebook, collecting notes from the world, asking them who we should be. That's not who we were here for. And so if you're watching this, and you know I'm speaking to you, and you know that this is for you, and you know that you've been walking around collecting notes on who you should be, or you've been looking at your past and you've been feeling guilty and you've been feeling shame and you've been feeling rejected and you've been feeling not good enough, I invite you to look at your life. I invite you to look at yourself and say, who the fuck am I? Who am I really? Who am I choosing to be today? It doesn't matter if everyone's rejected me in the past. It doesn't matter if people told me I was too spiritual or too energized or too this or too that or too fat or too thin. I don't give a fuck. That's what's happened in the past. That's what people have told me. They are facts, but they're not the truth. Just because someone's told me a fact about their opinion, that doesn't make it my truth. The only power it will have is if I focus on it and make that my truth. Right? You don't need to focus on the facts. You don't need to focus on what people have said. You don't need to focus on other people's opinions. It's your job to ignore the facts, ignore the stories, ignore the bullshit, and to focus on your faith, to both focus on who you choose to be, to focus on who you know you really are. Not who you're playing small to be, not who you're trying to be to get the approval of the world, not who you're pretending to be, not who you're being for your mum, not who you're being for your partner, not who you're being for your friends, they approve of you, but who you really fucking are. That's who you're here to be. That is who you're here to be. And if you're anyone but that person, you'll feel it. You'll feel anxious. You'll feel depressed. You'll be questioning yourself. You'll be always thinking, what am I doing wrong? You'll be constantly moving from one thing to the next. You'll be constantly changing your mind. You'll be constantly seeking other people's approval. And you'll constantly be feeling like something is missing. Like something isn't right. Like there needs to be change. Like you're not measuring up. You need to make another change. You need to read another book. You need to write another fucking thing until you're good enough. And it's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. Like if I look back through my life, those times in my life when I was trying so hard to be anything but me are the times that I was the most sick. And I don't just mean mentally sick, but I mean physically sick. Right? Like I had stomach issues for 12 years. 12 years permanent sore stomach. 12 years straight. Like no minutes without it. 12 years. Right? And it was because I was so anxious. I was so anxious. I was so worried all the time. I was questioning myself all the time. I never felt good enough. Right? And then that got better. And I released a lot of that anxiety. I felt so much better. But when I was in those moments of judgment, when I was in those moments of not feeling good enough, then eczema would flare up all over my face, right? It moved from one to the next, right? And it was stress. And it was me not feeling good enough. And it was me questioning who I was. And this is the thing is, even though these things like, oh yeah, they really hurt me. They caused me pain and discomfort. They're such blessings. Like if I notice a bit of eczema at all coming up on my body, I say, who are you, Emma? Who have you been pretending to be? Hold up a second, girl. Who are you letting dictate your mind? Who are you letting dictate your worth? Who are you letting dictate what the fuck you do? And I ask myself again, who am I? Who do I know I am? Who do I choose to be? And when I say who do you choose to be, I don't mean, oh, well, everything's wrong with me, so I'm going to choose to be that person. No. I mean the part of you who knows how worthy you are, the part of you who knows that she's good enough, the part of you who knows that you being exactly who you are is exactly who you're here to be. That part of you who's not second guessing and looking around every corner wondering when's it going to go wrong, wondering when's he going to reject me, when's he going to leave me, right? And I know that some of you who are listening to this, even in relationships, right? You're in relationships and you found someone who you're really kind of fond of, right? But yet you're asking yourself all the time, when's he going to leave? When's he going to hurt me like that person's going to hurt me? When's it going to turn to shit? When's he going to find out some truths about me that, oh, he won't like? When's he going to realize he made a mistake? When's he going to realize I'm not as great as he thought I was? When's he going to see too much? When am I going to be too energized? When am I going to be too emotional? When's he going to leave me? And the thing is, I want to invite you to consider is that he loves you. He adores you. He's with you for a reason. And also, it doesn't matter if he leaves. You know, when you choose to be you, when you choose to be fully expressed, when you choose to own all that you are, own how you feel, own what's going on for you, own what you desire, follow what you're being called to follow. When you do that, firstly, all your physical shit will go away. All your problems, all your anxiety, all your depression, all your worries, all your doubt, all that will go away. But secondly, if someone doesn't like that, if someone is not fully in love with you being fully expressed, which I highly freaking doubt, right? What they've done is created the space for someone who's so ready to receive all that you are, someone who's ready to love that person, someone who's ready to give their life to be with that person, who wants to settle down and be with you forever. And I don't know about you, but being with someone who is fully in love with everything that you are, where you can fully be yourself and there's no holding back, there's no doubt, there's no worry, it's just weirdness and blah, isn't that what you're here for? Wouldn't you rather be with someone who loves everything that you are and you feel free every day to be yourself than to be with someone who doesn't like who you are, who thinks you need to be different, who wants to try and change you? Trust me, I've done both. One caused me a shit ton of stress and one was freedom. One is freedom, right? And I feel like we all need to work on this, you know, in relationships, everyone needs to work on this. Remembering who you are, remembering who you choose to be, dictating who you are, not letting the world do it for you. Not looking to others to ask them who you need to be or who you should be or how you should be doing things. You know, so often we're accepting advice from people who we don't want to trade places with. You know, that's one of my rules, right? If I'm like, oh, if someone's telling me, giving me some advice around, I don't know, business, right? And I wouldn't want their business, I wouldn't want things to go like they're going in their life or their business, I don't listen to it. It's my rule, right? Because I'm going to take on, unless it really sinks into my soul and I'm like, that's right. Unless it really sees this. Even people who are doing freaking well, if they give me advice on something and my soul goes, I don't listen to it. Because we have that guidance within us. We have that guidance. We know what's right for us. Above all else, really. So what I want to leave you with today is your life is always going to be the result of where you're looking. And you can choose whether you look at where you've been. You can choose if you look at what they need you to be. Or you can choose if you look to who you are. Not who you're pretending to be, the girl who's been through all that shit, but who you really are. The girl who's really freaking strong because she knows what it's like to be hurt. The girl who knows what she's holding space for and knows that she's only holding space for love. The girl who's willing to walk away from anything that's going to hurt her or anything that feels wrong in her gut. The girl who knows what her soul wants and will not accept anything less. The girl who deserves the best. The girl who will not hold space for anything but the best. The girl who shows up every day like she's meant to be there. The girl who knows that she's good enough. The girl who's fully expressed. The girl who speaks her truth. The girl who is her truth. The girl that walks out every day and is like, this is who I fucking am. If you don't like me, cool. Right? It doesn't mean we need to be cruel to people. We don't need to be harsh to people. But we need to be real. Right? None of this, I'm so heart-centered that I'm going to be fake, right? I'm fucking sick of people being so heart-centered that they aren't in their truth. They're in their fear of who they should be, rather than their truth. They're not speaking their truth, right? So let's be real. Let's be who we are. Like, I promise you, nothing is going to hurt more than rejection. And not the rejection of others, but the rejection of yourself. And yet we're rejecting ourselves over and over and over again for others who aren't even really loving who we really are. Right? But when you choose to accept yourself, when you choose to go through any and every single rejection that you will face because you're committed to who you are and what you desire and where you're heading and who you're choosing to be, that is bliss. That is self-love. And the freedom you get when you're owning who you are, when you're sharing your truth, when you're not holding back, when you're not repressed, when you're not contracted, when you're just living in your truth, I just can't even put it into words how free it is. You're not here to fucking be paralyzed in your fear. You're not here to be paralyzed by your past. You're not here to be paralyzed by how other people think you should be. You're here to be you. You're here to make an impact. You're here to step the fuck up and go out and live your life and know what you're available for, know where you're heading, know what you deserve, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I should go to sleep though, because I'm going to get a sore stomach because I ate my dinner so freaking quickly. But thank you so much if you've taken the time to watch this. Feel free to write some thoughts. Feel free to message me if you've got anything coming up that you want to share with me. But in case you haven't heard, I do have a couple of spaces open in my one-to-one program. If you're wanting to step up, if you're wanting to manifest amazing love, if you're wanting to fall incredibly in love with yourself, if you're just wanting to feel free and you're wanting to feel bliss and know how to manifest all that you desire and just, yeah, step into an intense container with me, send me a message and we will have a bit of a chat. But have an awesome night, have an awesome day, have an awesome weekend. Go out, be fully expressed, love yourself so much that who gives a fuck how many people reject you. As you can tell, this message is so close to my heart. It's so close to my heart. You know, it's really impacted my life over the years. And I know that a lot of you needed to hear this tonight. So have a good one. Bye, team.